Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. What's up, everyone? Another week, another edition of Hidden Tracks. I'm here today with Jacob from the awesome band or personality, Kulick. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. I love how confusing it always is to introduce me as a band. It never gets old. I am a band also. I'm a solo artist, singer-songwriter, but also a band. So yes, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I mean, I had the pleasure of seeing you with a full band out in Pennsylvania. Awesome show. First thing I got to say is you captivated the entire room, which is completely awesome to see. You basically put on rock star moves that I wasn't expecting, which was pretty fucking cool.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Where did you see us?
It's what was it? Center Square.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Oh, that was yes.
Yeah, I was upstairs. I met you afterwards.
Yes, I remember now. I remember. I'm always curious because every show I make it a point to go out into the crowd and do something to make people remember us. But I'm always curious as to how well the show is before I do that as well. So I appreciate you coming to that show and giving me those compliments.
Yeah, no, it was quite. I'd listened to your music prior to, but when I saw you perform, I literally looked at my wife right next to me because she was in awe of watching you run around, and I was like, "That kid's a fucking rock star," and he does. Maybe he knows it, maybe he doesn't, but he's kind of a rock star right now. So that's what I got from what you were doing.
Thank you very much. There's some weird flip that happens because I'm very to myself and introverted and don't really want to talk to anybody. And when I'm actually on stage and performing, all of a sudden it just feels like I don't know. It's like it's that little time period I give myself the personal freedom to just be myself and do whatever I want. I'm trying to do it a little bit more in my real life, but for now it lives in that area. So I think I just have it all pent up, and then that happens for the set. So,
well, I appreciate it in the set. I'll put it that way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, exciting news! You got an album coming out. I'll say tomorrow, since when this is going to air. But I'm pretty stoked for it. I got to hear it. I love everything. I don't want to be that guy that goes after stuff and like nitpicks. But what I do have to say, there's nothing I want to nitpick. But what I do have to say is, for once in my life, is a fucking stone cold hit, bud. So.
Thank you. That's good. I think that's going to be a sleeper. I think that's going to be a sleeper on the album, where because we have the other two singles that are out, The People I Know Don't Like Me and Time to Go, and then we have the single Everyone I Know Will Die. And For Once in My Life is definitely one. That's a very interesting song because I had that written a long time ago, and I wrote it with my partner April and this kid named Eric Paquette, who also wrote Ghost with me, my first single ever. And we had a different production for it. And then when I said I wanted to do this alternative album, when I was going through songs I could possibly use, every single song on that album is brand new, but that one was sitting in the catalog. And I was like, I'm just going to reproduce this entire thing. Like, I'll sing it the same, we'll keep the lyrics, but I'm going to reproduce the whole thing. So that's an interesting one. That's interesting you picked that one out. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it definitely, listening to it, it was one of those things when you hear a song, I automatically see where it is. Like I saw it like in a movie, or the ending of a great movie just ends and the credits start and an awesome song kicks in. Like that's literally what I got from it. And I was like, I was like, fuck. I was like, all right. And here we are. It's the third song. I'm like, does it get any better? And it constantly got better, and the songs are amazing, and all your stuff you did before is awesome. And I like how you said that this alternative thing you wanted to do. And one of the big things that we come into in these days is, what genre do you fall under?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to label you. Do you have something, or would you fall into that all encompassing alt rock standard now that people go with?
I always say alternative rock / pop, because I'm definitely pop leaning. Um, I think it depends. For me, I'm more of an album guy. I'm trying to not be, because apparently it's not like what does well on basically all the platforms now. Which, maybe I'm just becoming an old man. Who fucking knows? But I think it depends on what the album is and what sound I'm going for that specific record. Because, like the Hydroplane EP that I had out, I was kind of throwing paint at the wall, just starting my career. Yelling in a Quiet Neighborhood was definitely alt but pop leaning. This one is specifically definitely alternative. Like, I would just say alternative for this album, and I did it on purpose. I wanted to really put myself in a lane of, okay, let's see, can you make a whole album that is stylistically the same? That was really the challenge I wanted to do with it. And with the emotion that comes with what the songs are about, the actual topics of the songs, it was very, very fitting emotionally for what I was going through when I was writing these. So it was kind of perfect for me.
Yeah, and I mean, you brought up two things here. The first one I'll touch on is, in this world of music nowadays, I'm an album guy myself, so yes, I will categorize myself as old. I love a flowing album. I love how people put it together, because a lot of them tell a story, and I'm in it for the story. There's great songs. I love great songs and great singles, but I'm in it for a story as well. That's what captures me. That's what keeps me there. A good book is, you read, if someone handed you a book and said, here's a chapter, I'll give you the next chapter in 7 months, you're kind of like standing idly by, and then you forget about it. And that's what I think is hard in that music, the way music is put out today. I mean, do you find issue?
I want to comment on that, actually. Yeah, because for me, I'm all about moderation and balance, healthy habits as such, right? And I feel like with the whole singles thing, it's the same thing as with social media, how everything's just a jolt of you're a jolt of endorphins every time you get a like or a comment or whatever. Subconsciously, you can say that it's not, but that's totally fucking happening to you, and you're lying to yourself if it's not. And it's the same thing with singles for me, where it's like, I don't want to just be this quick fix of music that someone gets to hear for 2 minutes and 20 seconds and they go, okay, that was great, next. Like, I don't want to just be this thing that you overconsume along with everyone else's music. Like, sit down with me for 24 fucking minutes and just have a moment, like, that's what I want. I don't want to be over consumed the way that a lot of artists are right now. I don't even think nothing's being paid attention to as much as it should be. Nothing's being appreciated as much as it should be. And that's just my opinion with it. And that's why I still love albums. And like I said, I don't like the format of, let's just release a song every single month or every 2 weeks. Cause I mean, unless you're writing throwaway songs, like for me, like this was a whole chapter in my life, a very heavy chapter in my life that I want other people to be able to listen to it and relate it to a chapter in their life. This wasn't a second of my life, so it shouldn't be that quickly digested either. Out of respect to the art, not even respect to me, out of respect to the art,
Yeah, and that's exactly the way I look at it. Like, there's nothing wrong with a playlist. I have nothing wrong with that, but I get more enjoyment out of putting on an entire album and sitting down and enjoying that artist for what it is, not for that one song that I got from them real quick and be
Yes.
like, oh, that was cool. And then another song kicks in and you're like, oh, that's cool. That's what playlists do for you. And that's fine. But that intimate relationship, because that is part of your soul. You went through a time in your life to write this and put this down and put it to music. It's important to get it out there and for people to appreciate it for what it is, because songwriting is taking a piece of your soul, putting it on paper, then converting it to a song, and then throwing your soul out there for the world to fucking pick apart.
I will say I think that that's the old school way of what a song is, though. Like that's the interesting part that we're at right now in music.
So we are old.
I definitely think that there's just a transitioning happening, and I don't know if people are gonna buy into it yet or not, because it's the same thing that has always happened in the music industry where you target young people, right? So they're just whatever you feed them, they will consume. And I don't know if a lot of the songs that are coming out, especially from new artists, are songs from their soul where you sit down for an album and you get a piece of their life. I don't know if those are happening as much anymore, because now it's more of a, and I'm cool with different songwriters. If the artist doesn't even write the song, that's fine. I understand. That's happened forever. Since music existed, that has happened. But I don't, the actual songs they're singing, I don't think they're not giving a part of themselves up. And that's why sometimes I think it feels a little shallow sometimes. And you know, they perform well still in the public, but I think it's just, I think it's because they're using it more of as a form of escapism, but not in necessarily a healthy way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, and I've talked to a bunch of people, and you know, there have been the people who have said, you know, I've asked the question, when you sit down to write a song as an artist, are you writing a song to an algorithm, or are you writing a song as a song? And I've had people say, no, you know, that does weigh on the back of our mind. You know, hey, we this can't be 3 minutes and 38 seconds. It needs to be at max 3 minutes and 2 seconds for. And I'm like, I don't know how you can.
Oh no, that's definitely in the back of your head, man. I mean, that happened with me with this record. I don't know if you noticed the track times.
Yeah, it was.
I was trying to get them under 3, man. Under 3. I was like, I want short songs.
I was surprised when I saw that too. I was like, he's such a great songwriter, and the songs, all the stuff you've already have out, I'm like, these are really short. And then it kind of hit me. I was like, well, I get it.
Yep, because I'm trying to stay, I'm trying to stay with the times and not just be this, pessimistic asshole who's just shitting on everything that's coming out. But I kind of feel like that, not gonna lie, But I was like, I'm trying to still be myself in these modern times. So like, I wanted to do the alternative route because that is totally something that's in right now, but it's something I grew up with. It's something I love. I knew that I could execute it well. And I think that people are going to love hearing my voice over top of this type of instrumental. I started doing it actually with the Yelling in a Quiet Neighborhood album because I did the song The Way I Am. And when I did that, I was like, I want to do songs that are more like this. And it was very similar to what the rest of this record was. So I definitely wanted to do something that was in, and I definitely think about things that are in when I'm writing. It's in the back of my head. But I will say the amount of time wise, like I've never really tried to write something under 3. It's always been 3:30 for me because a pop song has always been 3:30 for me. But I've listened to like Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers is like my all-time favorite artist that I've ever listened to. And if you listen to Tom Petty songs, I mean, he is in the second verse already within a minute. And you're already like, how the hell did he get a verse, a pre-chorus, and a chorus in without me even noticing? So I've always admired the pop side of that. I've admired, can you get something that really hits somebody and cram it in as fast as you can so that they want to just listen to it again. And like, you're like, oh my God, the song's already over. So that part of it I've always had, but for me, it's more of the concept of the song. Like, that's why I wanted to write a record, Everyone I Know Will Die. I'm like, this is a real topic. This is something I've thought about all the time. This is something nobody fucking talks about or thinks about, it seems, which is strange to me because it's universal to literally everybody. And I didn't want to be writing songs that are, I didn't want to write stuff that doesn't pertain to what my life is, even though a lot of times you're directed to target a younger demographic. I'm not going to write a song pretending that I'm still 14 years old Like I'm not gonna write like a driver's license type song. Nothing wrong with that song, but I'm not writing that. I'm not writing something that's like that. I'm gonna be 30 in April. Like and I'm not like hiding that fact. I'm fine with that. And I think I really wanted substance in the songs, but they could still be pop and still be relatable and people like them. I didn't want to do something that, oh, let's write a hook that will perform really well on TikTok because I know that if the hook is this, that these people will do this while the lyric happens, like I didn't want to, I'm not into that. And I'll retire before I do that. I will.
Well,
I really will. This has been such a common conversation between me and my partner April too, because she has her own solo art. Her name's April Gabrielli, and I produce her music with her. She's launching her own career, and we have this battle every day of like, how do we do this? You have to be on social media all the time, but we don't believe in social media. You don't really think it's mentally good for you, but that's where people promote music now.
Yeah, it's hard, man. I hate it. Like
everybody I know hates it, and everybody
who have to be a part of it,
dude. And everybody who works in it, they don't have their own social media profiles. Like there's something going on there. Like okay, you work for the social media companies, but you don't even have your own profile because it's like the fucking devil.
Yeah.
And then I'm on there like, oh, here I am promoting, like doing something I don't really believe in. So you have this like battle with yourself of, I don't want to be on here doing this. I don't think people should even be on here, but like they're even spending money on like, marketing and all these campaigns, like all the money that labels are spending, they're not like pushing to radio anymore. They're pushing, they're paying influencers to do dances or do whatever to their songs. And then it looks like it organically blows up on TikTok. Like it's literally, it's like television again, only in social media. Like it's all bullshit and it's all an act, but no one is really noticing it besides people that are content creators. It's very interesting to me. It's very interesting.
Well, it is. I mean, you must get stuff all the time. I get stuff all the time in my email box of, hey, you should really look to promote it here and we can help you. And a nominal fee we'll take and we'll put it on this person. And I'm like, no, like that's not, no thanks. Like,
yeah,
I'd rather just hand this to somebody. Like, be like, listen, you either like it or you don't. And I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't. And again, what's sad is I can't tell if I'm becoming the dinosaur now in the industry that is fighting it, or if I should be trying to learn it. And every other day, I keep pivoting back and forth of like, all right, I'm going to try it. I'll do this thing. Okay, no, I don't want to try that. I'd rather just do this in person. But it's difficult. It's really difficult, and it is money. It started where it was free, and you would post it on socials and. I loved social media when it first started. I was like, oh, this is amazing. Everyone's sharing like their life, and it's like a journal basically. You get to go on, you get to see photos and videos, and you get to put a caption about like what it is that you're doing, and I was in awe of it. And now it's just turned into this narcissistic machine of look at me, look at me, look at me, and you have to stay visible, and it's just too much in my opinion. Like I used to like just have to post maybe once or twice a week. Now it's like maybe twice a day, and I'm like, what? I literally talked to my label, my management, and they're totally on board with me with this. But I'm like, what are I want to post saying, please stop looking at this. You know what I mean? Like it's so interesting. But again, I'm trying not to be a hater and trying to just do it. But my God, is it something that is, and I don't know if like, I'm curious what your opinion is of this. Like, do you think COVID made it worse because everyone was home? So now that's just what you do. Like, I don't even know when this started, but all of a sudden it feels like I'm not being, a lot of my conversations are not about the music anymore. It's about social media.
Yeah, well, I mean, you bring up the COVID point, and I think at that time, I think it made it worse. I think it was already well on its way. But I think the point of everyone was suffering and looking for something else through the suffering, and social media was the only way for them to go, because you would turn on the TV and it was all garbage. Like it was, you couldn't escape the horribleness that was being talked about constantly. And so people were looking for that glimmer of hope, and whether it was a billionaire fucking sitting out by their pool and you wishing that you had that life as well, it was just, it got to that point now. And yeah, it is to that point now where I tell, my wife runs all of our media, and I'm like, listen, whenever you open your social media is when you should be posting something. Like, I know
Yep.
people open it just to scroll and look, but if you're
No,
trying to run a business or do something, anytime you open it, you need to post.
no, me and April, we say the exact same thing. Like I say, like we have like social limits on our phone, and whenever I go on, I'm like, if I'm not on here doing this as a business about to post, then I shouldn't even be on here. But the problem is the algorithms don't like that. If you're not on it, they don't help you. That's the problem. So like you can go on and post fine, but like the interactions are important. When you're commenting on other people's profiles, that'll make them look at your profiles. Then you show up on their news feeds. Like it only rewards people that are on there more.
Yeah.
So it's and I don't like want government to step in, but you kind of like it's gonna fuck us up mentally, and it already is. And it's kind of like, imagine if television came out, but there was like no laws at all, and it only showed you the shows that you liked if you were consistently watching it. And there's no censorship, which is that's a beautiful thing about the internet. But it's like it's really strange to me. Whenever I do go on, I try to just interact with people like fans. I always reply to, uh, but again, you get this as an artist. You get this FOMO of like, should I be reaching out to these people who I'm following and like interacting with them? Like it's the new place to like interact with different creators, but I don't want to be on my phone. Like I
Yeah.
hate being on my phone. I cannot fucking stand it. I wish that you can go on like Instagram and TikTok on a laptop. Then it would be different. I still wouldn't
You'd
like
have
you
to
said.
work to get to it.
Yeah, right. Like I don't mind. I don't want to go on a doomsday scroll. I almost never go on the scroll. I only go on the post or reply to comments. But even making the content to me is just so fucking annoying to edit videos with my two caveman thumbs. Like I'm like this is the best that we have right now. Like that's what I'm doing. And then you have to add the text and you have to think, okay, well now the algorithm works if it works the longer that someone watches a video, the more they'll show your video. So now you have to position your text to come up every 2 seconds so that it makes someone watch the video longer. And now it's like you're literally trying to brainwash people to watch your video instead of promoting like I'm so far away from what the purpose of my art initially was that it's really fucking depressing as a musician, in my opinion.
Yeah, and
Unless
it's
I'm
hard.
just not narcissistic, like unless I'm not like egotistical enough anymore. Like
Well, I
maybe,
think that's part of it. I think that's a huge part of it. I think when you get older and you mature, I mean, I know for myself, it just, in starting the show, it's not about me. Like it's about trying to help people, and that's what art is too. And when you first start out and you're young, you want to take on the world, and it's about me. I'm going to create these great songs. I'm going to, conquer the world. And at the end of the day, not many people can fully live up to that. And as you get older, you're like, I don't know what I was thinking. I should have focused more on the rhythms or the hooks in the songs. But
yeah.
it's just
I will
it's
say
just
though,
maturing.
for me though, I will say it is still about me. It is still, I want people to hear my songs. I want people to listen to this and think, like relate to it or be like, oh, I feel the same way. Like that has what it's always been for me ever since I was young, was like, I can write that. That's always been the amazing part of music to me, is I can write something in a bedroom, in a notebook, sing a melody, record that, and then go sing it somewhere. And then someone can feel like that basically they were me in that moment. Like I took the words out of their mouth, or I felt the exact same way that they did, like that. And so that it is still about me. It's still about them wanting to, like, I still want them to think I'm a good singer. I want them to think I'm a great songwriter. I want them to think I'm a good performer. Like it's still definitely for me. But that's not what I'm doing anymore on social media. I'm not doing that. Now I'm trying to think, how can I feel like I'm competing against a robot, and I'm just like, how can I get people to watch this longer and interact with this post? Like, I don't care if you don't interact with me. I wish there were no comments or likes at all. I wish I could just put it out there and then people can just listen themselves, but it's like, I'm not doing it anymore for that reason. When I'm on socials, it doesn't reward me for that. It
Yeah.
rewards me if I can get them to, watch it for a certain amount of time, or get them to comment. Like, like, I hate putting in captions like, comment below what song you're looking forward to, or what. Like, I don't want to tell you what to do. I just want you to listen to my song. Like that. That's it. And it sadly doesn't reward people like that. So I'm definitely having a very big battle with this. So it's interesting that this got brought up immediately, and that's why I have so much to say about it. So I apologize for like letting you have like one word in here, but
No, listen, this is what it's about. It's about bringing the conversation forward and getting more people to talk about it. I mean, it really is. I mean, when it comes to anything, it's about, finding a way to communicate and hit something on the head that sparks interest. The same thing with releasing a song.
Right.
You know,
And honestly, I think my method is being the anti, which is what I've always done. I've always felt like I'm counterculture, and that's been my method with the social media marketing plan of this, this as well. It's just been like, I'm going to put this out here, but like, I'm kind of going to shit on it while I do it because I don't want to be doing it. And I think a lot of people watch that and they go, I fucking feel like him too. Like when there's other artists that I see doing it where they're kind of like, here I am trying to please the algorithm again. Like people are not having fun doing this. The only people that are having fun doing it are the people that it's being very successful for them. And you know what they are? They're content creators. They wake up every day and they think, what am I going to do to create this content on this platform? I'm not that. I'm an artist. I'm a songwriter. I want to wake up. I want to pick up an instrument. I want to sing a song. I want to record. And then I want to, wrap that up in like 2 or 3 days, and then I want to release it. That's it. I'm not thinking, where do I want to put this fucking light to make sure that it looks good while I'm filming on my cell phone? Do I have enough space in my storage to film this TikTok? It's not the same thing. We are not the same. I'm sorry.
Well, let's move on to the music now.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
So, in my life, there were two major points when it came to music, and I think it fits everyone's life really. But there's two musical moments. It's your first musical memory when you first heard music, and then your second one is when you find your brand of music. Do you remember your first musical memory? Like the first time you heard something?
I'm going to answer it, but I will say, whenever I have questions about like memory, I don't know if it's because from smoking weed for like 6 years in a row or what, but my memory is so bad. And I don't know if it's because like my past has been so like traumatizing that I don't remember, but let me think. So first time that I have ever heard music? Is that the question?
Well, when it wasn't when it brought something to you, because we all grew up with like cartoon theme songs and Disney songs, but like the first time there was music playing somewhere that really piqued your like, what is this?
I don't know if there's a specific time. I will say when I was really young, my mom would bring me to Catholic church, and the only way I was getting through those boring church services was the songs. I was like, oh, I wonder what song they're going to do next. And they had like the songs up on the board of like, oh, we're doing this song today, this song, and this song. Like that was one of the first times. And, I don't know if you're familiar with Catholic church, but they like ring the bells when the priest puts his like hands over the communion so that it looks like God's like ringing the bells or something. And I literally became an altar boy because I wanted to play that bell. So that was definitely something like that. I was like, wow, like the instrument's cool, the sound's cool. I don't think it was a TV show or anything. Definitely like church. I might have been the first time I really, probably was the first time I ever saw live music.
Saw anyone perform it? Yeah, with a piano or a guitar.
Yeah. So I think that's it. Definitely.
Now, when did you find your like niche? There's usually that moment in your teen years where you find your music that you gravitate towards.
Yeah. So I always look at it in two different realms of as a listener and as a writer. Because as a listener, I used to always I remember listening to like Eminem was one of the first ones that shocked me, that I was like, oh my God, this is like, I can't believe I'm allowed to listen to this. The sound quality was incredible. I loved pop music. I loved NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears. I mean, like really, really loved pop. Savage Garden is still like one of my, like, I it's such a bad, not bad, but like it's an embarrassing one to admit. But but Savage Garden was like a really cool thing I was listening to. But honestly, for me, writing wise, I just I picked up a guitar and started singing like sad lyrics. And the feeling, it almost felt like I was yelling. And that, getting that out like that felt like a really healthy way to do it, instead of like self-harm or or substance abuse, which was prominent in my early days as well. So definitely singing really sad stuff, and that's when I got into the screamo music, and that was my niche for sure. It was A Day to Remember. It was the really heavy stuff, to the point where even if I was listening to something like a Blink-182 song, which I liked, I was always like, oh, but where are the screams?
Yeah.
Like I was such an angry kid. I just like loved the screamo music. That I was never in a specific lane until I found screamo music, and then that's when I really, and I was also very invested in specific artists, not like genres. Like, if they don't remember, I know their whole catalog. Savage Garden, I know their whole catalog. Like, I was very much into the artists.
Yeah, so you pick somebody and you're like, this is what I'm about. This is the sound. There's other people that may come close to sounding like it, but it's still not them.
Yeah, and I specifically buy into them, of like even if it's just the voice, the quality in the voice, like Savage Garden, I know nothing about them personally, but I loved the way that his vocal processing was. And I was like, how are they making him sound like he's singing this 3 times? And then I would learn, oh, you're doubling the vocal. That's cool. And he would like sing it softer. A Day to Remember, like Jeremy McKinnon, the singer of A Day to Remember, his lyrics were like spot on of like what I was going through as a kid, where I was like, I literally can't listen to anyone else because no one gets it as good as A Day to Remember gets it. That's the kind of artist I've always strived to be, of like, like I want someone to be like, I literally don't want to listen to anything else because this really hits it.
Yeah. Now,
And I
was
also
there a
never
guitar?
listened. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, you never listened.
I
What?
was gonna say, I also never really listened to music with other people. It was always an isolating thing of like, not never for happiness. It was always for, if I felt down or something. So it was very lonely and like in headphones and really trying to go into the music. So like a lot of people, other people that I've met throughout my life, their music tastes are much different, because they're like, oh, I love this song because I remember listening to this with my brothers or my family, or I remember dancing, to this song. Like I love a good pop song, but like even those, I was listening by myself, just trying to figure out, like envisioning myself doing it and being like, how are they doing that? I was curious about it. I wasn't curious about the experience of what you get with music. I'm so introverted with that. I'm still the same way with that. It was never a shared thing.
It's almost like you use it as your own medication, like,
medication and yeah, I always say that, and every artist says that, so it's always like a tough one for me to be like, yes, but like that's totally what it is. It's just therapeutic for me, and I still use it to this day for that reason. If I'm driving and I'm tired, I'll throw on some like mid-tempo Tom Petty to like just get me to feel some nice nostalgia, or it's always to trigger an emotion. I'm never listening to something to like snap me. Like I'm never listening to something to. I don't listen to anything that cheer me up, I will say. That's kind of bad, but I really don't. I'm trying to think of, I mean, like randomly, I have, me and April have a song, a playlist on Spotify called Ye Old Lemoyne, because that's where we live. And it's like a goofy little playlist where it's kind of like, it doesn't make me feel in a good mood per se. The songs are just so all over the place that it makes it funny and quirky, if that makes sense. But I haven't done that. This is the first year I've done that. So as a kid, definitely was not doing that.
Did you have like a guitar just laying around the house? Was music around you? Like, how did you said you picked up a guitar and,
I would say so. A few things. Church for sure. My grandparents had a piano. So whenever I would go to them, which I was there a lot because both my parents would work and then they would kind of watch us in the summers, I would play
Same
their
here.
yeah, I would play their piano. That's where I first started playing that. And then I think my big brother got a guitar, but he never played it, so I started playing that. And that's when I started really writing like the important era of music for me, I would say, when I was like 13 or so. But I actually started on drums. I had a drum set when I was like, if you watch The Way I Am, I have a music video for that. There's clips of me like playing the drums when I was super young. That was the first instrument that I played on. Um, but in music in the house wise, no, there honestly wasn't. And that is crazy to me. The only time that there was music was when we had like a little gym in our basement, and my dad would listen to like Van Halen or Journey or Bon Jovi, Styx, like the Eagles. So that was the only place I really heard music, was when we were lifting weights. But besides that, it was never played for leisure or anything around the house, and nobody else sung or played any instruments really growing up.
Yeah, and I mean, so for me trying to figure this out, and in the years of doing the show, is how you said it's crazy that there's no music around. I've come to find out because I started to, anytime someone would say that, and I would venture to say almost half of my guests have said, "Yeah, no, there's no music around in my house." Like there
Yeah,
was. I'm like, that's
that's crazy.
crazy.
That's crazy to me because the other people that I talk to about it, like I said, like even like my partner, like her mom was a singer and they always played music. Like pretty much every time they had dinner, they played music, and there was a piano in the house. And like most people that I know, like it's totally have. But I guess it just depends on if you had a happy house or not, because
Yeah.
it's not that our house wasn't happy, but it definitely wasn't inviting to have music. Like, so that's interesting. I haven't met many people where music has not been a part of their life since they were young.
Yeah, no,
you know?
I've definitely talked to more people that I've been astonished by, the fact that like, yeah, no, there was no music around, and whether it was based off of religion or things in their household, it just always to me, because I tell everyone all the time I was extremely lucky, and music was on at my grandparents' house, and my parent, like music was always a part of my life, and I'm like, wow, I was very lucky then, and you
Yeah, that's
never
very
look at
fortunate.
it that way.
That's definitely fortunate. My household was just active in sports. Like I have two brothers, an older one and a younger one, so I'm the middle child, and we were always playing outside. It was either really active outdoors or it was television. Like television was on all the time. It was always whatever sports. A lot of sports stuff. Which I'm never. It's funny. I'm more into it now, but I always was like I don't. I was also like getting picked on by the people who played sports. So I was like, fuck sports. Like sports and
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. But yeah, lots of television was in my house. And honestly, a lot of the times we weren't home because everybody played sports. We were always, go to school. After school, you played the sport. Then you came home, go to sleep, and sports all year round. So we weren't all really home a lot. So there wasn't really an opportunity for that. The only
Yeah.
time it really was radio, and that's where I learned a lot of the songs that I was learning. It wasn't really from my parents or anything. It was just like, oh, I heard that on the radio on the way home. That's cool.
Oh, you said when you sat down and you started coming up with songs, like, do you remember the name of the first song you ever wrote?
Dude, I have a booklet of 13 songs. I was 8 years old, and I made my mom type all the lyrics. I don't have it with me. I really wish I just had it because I could tell you. I know like I have 12 songs. They're horrible, and they are hilarious song titles, and the lyrics are hilarious. I had a song called "I'm a Hottie for Karate" because I was in karate class. I had some love song that like the lyric is literally, we were in Burger King, you were with your boyfriend, but once I walked in, you broke up with him. That's how we fell in love. So I was just like romanticizing being a singer and storytelling right from the start. They are very, very funny. But
While eating a Whopper.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Yes. Yeah. Well, because in my town, that's all there was. Like that was like like I was like, oh man, like at 8 years old, I was like, if I can get a girl to go with me to Burger King like that, then I must be smooth. Like if I could have done that. So I'll write that into existence in this song.
She'll know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, and I got to let her know I do karate. So that's the next one.
I love that.
Yeah, because that's where it started for me. It was like I loved love songs, and then
Well, I think everyone, and even if you were a poet or you wrote things down, because it all started with, looking back on it and thinking about, 12 years old and writing love songs. Yeah, I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about.
No,
Like,
and I still don't now. I try to write love songs. They do okay, but no. But honestly, the innocence. I'm glad that that's documented, because the innocence of where it started is a really nice, warm place. Because before I found that book, all I remembered was, and it's always what's been my autobiography, has just been like, oh, he writes sad songs because he got bullied and was born half deaf, and everyone just picked on him, so he wrote all these songs. And there was more to it before that, and it's very therapeutic for me to know that that's not just where it started. I mean, I still use it for that purpose, and maybe I'll be able to get through it a little bit more the longer I live and the more I process. But for now, it's still the same as that era of processing difficult things. Because before that era of 13 to 15 years old, I was writing songs just literally just whatever I thought would work and would work on the radio. I just wanted to be a radio star. That was my goal. I just wanted to be played on mainstream radio.
it's a very lofty goal as a child.
Yeah, from the start, I just wanted that so bad, and I always envisioned it. I was like, there has to be a way for me to get on radio, and I think my voice. Well, I will say too, when I started, my voice was fucking horrible. Like, it was so bad. If you asked my parents in like an interview or something, they'd be like, "Yeah, his voice was terrible for years." I was just whining my ass off in this like walk-in closet that I made a recording studio, and it took me a while to like really feel like, okay, I'm actually a good singer now. Like, even to this day, it's hard for me to just say like, oh, I'm a singer. I always used to say I'm just a songwriter and a guitar player, but I was not good when I started, like, for years. I always tell people that. I'm like, you can definitely do it if you want to do it, but it's going to take you a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get better. And I mean, you brought it up. I know your backstory about being born half deaf, and I mean that had to have played a role in coming up with your own voice and hearing it as well, like what it was going to sound like when you're singing, right?
Yeah, that's something that I, again, didn't really think about or process, because I don't know. I don't know what to blame or why or whatever, but I have this like mental tenacity or strength to just think through things. So like I was just like, nah, I'm not deaf. It's fine. I didn't wear hearing aids until 2 years ago. Like, I had them. I was supposed to wear them. And I was like, I'm just not going to wear them. I'm just going to pretend that this doesn't exist and live the rest of my life. And I do the same thing if I get injured now, or if I'm sick. I try to really pretend that it's not happening to just get through it. And there's something very positive about doing that, and strong doing that. And like, you can have persistence doing that. But I'm learning the more that I think about this, that like, there's an element of not having self-acceptance when you do that. Like, I've been recently thinking about that. Like, how do I mix songs and I'm half deaf? How do I hear my voice compared to other people? And I honestly, I was born with it, so I've never heard it any other way until I started using hearing aids. And when I used my hearing aids, I hated what it sounded like, because it sounds like having two microphones in your ears.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like, the way I explain it to people is, yeah, you ever watch your home videos when you were a baby and you press play and then it has like that room tone?
Mm-hmm.
I have that all the time with hearing aids in. So it's not like pleasant, but I can hear better. But I don't think it really affected the music. It might have affected the pitch of me singing, and I think that it affects how loud I sing. Like, I sing loudly because I think I'm quieter than I really am. Even during this, this interview, when I listen back to it, I'll be like, why was I shouting into the microphone? But that I've always had that, I think, just from being born half deaf.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, you're not shouting in the microphone, and I know I always come over really loud. So,
all right, well, that's good. I always get the, Jake, you gotta be, like, whenever I'm in like public or something, like, Jake, it's okay, be a little bit quieter.
Hey, I listen. You're coming through perfect. Maybe a little too low.
That's funny.
Now, getting into playing music and doing stuff and creating your own thing, was there that point where, I mean, I know your story you're bringing up, there was some loneliness in your life and the introvert part of yourself. But did you branch out to like go out and perform maybe at your local high school talent show or something? What was your first performance?
Yeah, so my first thing was a band. I had a band called Story of Another.
Your first band ever? That was the name?
Yep,
That's
first
one of the
band.
better ones we've had recently.
Yeah, Story of Another. I don't know if that was the first name. I mean, we had one called Chaotic Disarray. Like that, there's some horrible ones before that, but that's what we settled on, the Story of Another. But it was a high school band. My town has nothing to do at all, and I was so bored, which is what made me so introverted and want to do music. But what they did have was really good block parties where people would go and drink beer and watch live music. And there were amazing bands. There was one band from my town that has a hilarious name called Camel Toe, and they were a cover band. And for how bad the band name is, they had 3-part harmonies and they were fantastic. And it's what made me want to be in a band. So I started a band with 3 of my really good friends. Look, a couple of people, interchanged. But my first show was, I don't know if the first show was the talent show, but it was definitely one of the first. Did the talent shows, did the battles of the bands, then I eventually was like, oh, if I do a block party, we made it. So we started doing block parties. And we started doing pretty good. I started making my own original songs with the band, but I always had, the ones that were really close to me. They were just my songs that I never shared with the band, and I never did anything with those, really. I also released, actually, and now I remember, I released a CD called For My Sanity, which was 15 songs, and it was my solo recordings where that was like my own pop side project, not with my band. And I just kind of handed those CDs out. I handed out like 100 in my high school. So somebody has some somewhere. They're very, very bad. And it sounds like I'm singing with a clothespin on my nose the whole time, but that's fine. But yeah, so I was doing that and I did the band thing. And that was so fun, and I felt like I made it, and then we were the talk of the town. There was another rival band. We did that whole thing, and that was, it was just two very, 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 what's the saying? Two big fish in a very, very, very small pond. I realized once I got out of there, and, everybody went to college, and I was like, what are you guys doing? We should totally be going to try to get a tour, and no one wanted to do it. So I actually stopped music for like 2 years. And just started trying to do other things when I was going to college. And I did my first like acoustic solo gig because I won a contest to open for this guy named Tyler Ward, who was a YouTube star.
I know Tyler Ward. Yeah.
I submitted just a video of me playing in my apartment in Philadelphia. And I won, and that was my first gig as a solo musician ever, playing with just my, like no band, like just me, was at the Theater of Living Arts in Philly for like a full room. Yeah. And that started my actual solo career.
That just reignited that fire that you once had.
Yeah, once I did that, I was like, oh, I can do this, because I didn't know how to do it myself. I was like, I don't really understand how, like, I need the band. Like, I've never, and like a lot of the songs that we did with the band, like I didn't play an instrument. I'd be able to walk around, run around with a microphone. I was like, I can't do that. And I don't want to just, play tracks and then me sing. So I started doing more with the acoustic and started doing my own acoustic solo thing. That was my first gig. And then I started doing random gigs. I played at the, on South Street at Legendary Dobbs, which now reopened apparently. But I started playing randomly at night in between my classes in Philadelphia, and just kept going at it. And I graduated, and then again there was another lull where I was like, I don't really know what to do now. I graduated, I have to find a job. So I found a job at CBS Radio in New York as a broadcast engineer. And I worked there. I was doing sound for bands that came in, like Train came in to perform once, and like all these really known bands. And I worked there for a year and a half, but I've kept making my own music. I was working at Sam Ash Music Store, and I had a little EP together. And I very, very luckily, working at CBS Radio, met a girl who knew the EVP of RCA, and I was like, I eventually got to know him and meet him and show him my music, and that's what started it for real, where I got signed and started really doing the thing.
I mean, it's a brilliant story, and it's the ins and outs, like you getting back into music and then getting out, getting back and getting out. It seems like it's that calling that just keeps pulling you back in. Like, hey, you're good at this. Like, stop fucking going away. We need you. And that's that universal pulling that is the art of music. Is if you're good at it, it's always going to find you and bring you back in.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's what it is, because I'm experiencing something similar this year where, I could tell you stories about my past and all that and whatever with RCA and whatever, but when I released my first three singles, it was Ghost, Colors, Hole in My Head, and all three of them, I was making my own music before that on my laptop. And then when I got signed to RCA, they were like, "Oh, we want you to work with these songwriters and we want you to work with these producers." Like, that's fine. So I wasn't as hands-on as I was used to. And once I left RCA, I was like, I forgot that I used to produce music. So I started producing my own stuff, and that's when I came out with Yelling in a Quiet Neighborhood. And all those songs were literally the first attempt at me to produce my own music ever as a solo artist, because I've never released music as a solo artist with me producing it. And I was like, wait, I've done this my whole life. Like it was like I got called back to do it. So it was just such a strange thing of like, oh my God, like I also used to do this. And now I'm working with other artists. I'm producing other artists. I'm engineering, I'm mixing, I'm mastering. And that's been my, my income while I'm also pursuing being an artist, where, people like what we're doing and they like what my album sounds like. They like what April's music sounds like. And they want it to be a part of their project. So now I'm mixing and mastering and producing for other people. And it's like so full circle of such gratitude of like, thank God all of that came back, because I really missed it and I didn't even know that I wasn't doing it. Like, it's funny how quickly things can change without you noticing.
Yeah, and it's there's certain things, and I've said it to people, and I've had things happen in my life where I said I never knew I always needed this. Like and it was one of those, it just when it like a lot of times, and I equate a lot of things in my life back to music, or like you never know you needed a song until it finds you, and you're like, fuck, what? Like, I don't know what that just did to me, but I didn't know how much I needed that. And it's just one of those things that finding your way back, like you didn't know that, holy shit, like I've been doing this my whole life, and I maybe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I mean, that's an awesome thing to find for yourself again.
Well, that's why it's a blessing and a curse, because to wrap around from the beginning of the conversation with the social media stuff, it's like whenever I finally tap into that again, like I take droughts of not writing songs where I have months where I'm writing in my notepad and I just have 3 lines and I'm like, these are fucking horrible. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, like you almost have nothing to write about again. And you're like, all right, I'm not really sure if I should be doing this or whatever. And then out of nowhere, like this new album, Everyone I Know Will Die, I'm telling you, it is the most important thing that I've ever written. I don't even give a shit of how successful it is, and I've never felt like that about something, where it's like I was going through so much shit that I had no idea what to do with it. And I don't even remember writing these. I blacked out. I blacked out the entire time. The whole time, like, just to give you background on this, like, my partner was in the hospital once a month for unknown reasons. She was having seizures, and I was her caretaker for this whole time. And in the meantime, I'm trying to write an album, but like nothing seems purposeful. I'm like, none of this fucking matters, especially when like everyone's talking about doing the social media stuff. I'm like, dude, I have someone who I love who like is like, I don't even know if they're I don't know what the fuck's going on right now, And it made me get sober. It made me stop smoking weed. It made it so many different lifestyle changes, and I needed help producing it. So I got help with Kevin Eiserman, one of April's good friends and one of my good friends now too. And he did a lot of the guitar work and helped me produce it while I was in the hospital with April, like just trying to keep it together and still be an artist and whatever. And next thing I knew, I was like, oh my God, the album's done. Like I made a whole entire album, and now I listen to them and I'm like, wow, I was going through some fucking shit. And now I basically have the next 6 months to listen to this and process what I could not process myself. And that's what these albums have always been for me. They've always been self-therapy of listening to it and going, wow, like, okay, so what did I go through here? And you know, am I okay? It's like a self-check-in kind of thing. But this one, if it's something different, I gotta tell you, it was definitely something that I needed to write, and there's no gimmicks in it. There's nothing that is you know, for publicity or anything. It's just, I was in a hospital for so much. I was just thinking everyone I know is going to die and no one's fucking thinking about this. Like I'm going through this turmoil here. I'm trying to be strong so that, you know, she's okay when she's around me, but really I'm freaking the fuck out. And everybody I would talk to, including my family, wouldn't really get it. They were just like, oh, it's all right, just hang in there. But it's like, no, like we have no idea what's happening. And honestly, like, so like, just so everybody knows, like so far she's been good. She's been 5 months seizure free, and we're thankful for that and grateful. But like, we have no idea what the future holds, and you still are not sure like why. And I didn't understand why nobody really got it. But you're not going to get it unless you experience it and you go through it, of a loved one, you know, having an illness, or you having an illness, and then, you know, you have certain moments of normalcy, and all of a sudden you're like, it goes out of your mind. You forget about it for a little bit, and it's like not even real anymore until it happens again. So I don't know why I went on that rant, but obviously I need to talk to a therapist.
That's what I'm here for.
No, honestly, that's what I use these interviews for too. I swear I do. It's great. It's great for me. It's a great occupation.
Well, I'm glad we can help while we're learning about you. No, I mean, you bring up of why you wrote something and how you put it together and how it finished, and not even knowing, and that is a point in life. You know, I think we've all been there too, where, you know, sometimes when it comes to even say grieving or something, and you got to be the strong one. You know, I've said it before. I've had, you know, a lot of loss in my life, and you know, said it to my wife at one point when I lost someone dear to me. I'm like, when's my time to grieve? Because I'm trying to be strong for everyone else, but when's my time?
Mm-hmm.
Like it just hit it, like, you know, and it hits you when you least expect it, you know, and
yeah,
it's always so hard.
The same thing. I experienced the same exact thing, and then I have a moment where like I well up, and then I'm immediately like, okay, nope, I gotta be good, and then you're back to just getting through it. And I have the exact same thing where I'm like, man, like, is there going to be a moment where I can like be the weak one for a second?
Yeah.
Or yeah, but again, that's where I do it in the music. That's where am able to be the weak one, whatever. That's why my music always sounds like that. You know, it's like, and it's the same thing happened with my last album, Yelling in a Quiet Neighborhood. I was going through so much stuff, didn't really understand it, wrote it out, and then processed it afterwards. So, I mean, it's just something that I haven't really lived life not doing it, so I don't know what I would do and not doing it. And that's why I do it. And that's why I'll never stop doing it. And anytime I ever think about quitting, like me and April always talk about, like, man, it'd be so much easier to just go buy a house in the middle of fucking nowhere. Let's have 7 kids and call it, you know. But
yeah.
You know, but we both have this thing in us that is just like, I don't know what it is. I don't know how to explain it. It's not that I need to share it with people, but it's just like, there's so many different sides to it. Like there's the emotional side. There's the part of it feels really good when you come up with a melody that you can't get out of your head. The music feels great. The lyrics, for me though, the most important is definitely still the lyrics. Like the lyrics are so important. Which is why I think I'm really bummed about modern music recently, because everything just kind of seems, you know, even the alternative.
I don't even want to touch on that portion.
I
Of
know.
modern music.
Yeah,
but I mean,
again,
like what you're doing is, and
I'm trying to stay genuine.
You said it without possibly even knowing you said it. You've almost created a digital diary where you can check in on your life.
Yes,
with your music.
What I think people should use it for, because that could be very beneficial.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
And I think that's pretty cool. Like, I mean, you can go back and listen to this a year from now and say, okay, well, this is where I was. Am I in a better place now, or am I in a worse place? Let's
Yes.
figure
And
this
if you
out.
use yourself as, who you're trying to improve on instead of other people, that's healthy. That's good to do that. That's what I always try to do. Try not to compare myself to other people. Am I better than I was last year? Yes or no? Okay. If I wasn't, what can I do to improve? If I was, great. What could I do to make it even better? And that's it every single year. And that's what drives me and keeps me going. And I always try to think too, is my inner child happy? Is who I was then, am I proud of who I am now? Those are the two questions I always try to ask, and please those two people.
Those good questions. Here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to meet a stranger on the street, you told them you were an artist and a musician, and what song of yours would you play for them? It's the segment of the show where you have to pick your favorite child, but it's not even that, because your favorite song you've ever recorded could be different than what you would play someone to get into your music.
Well, what I was going to say was, I know this might not be the politically correct answer, but I would judge it on who the person is.
No, and
like totally, like if it's like an older lady, if it's an older lady, I'm totally picking like Colors or something off the Hydroplane record. If it's a kid, I'm totally going for like Time to Go, or the people I know don't like me. If it's somebody who looks more unique, or I would definitely choose it based off of the person.
I mean, I think that's what everybody does. I mean, I do it with people too. When I turn them on to new music,
Mm-hmm.
I'll look at them, or even if I'm at a show, and sometimes I'll freak them out, and I'll be like, oh, well, you got to listen to this folk rock from Sweden. And, and they'll be like, wait, what? And I'm like, just listen to it.
That's so funny.
All right, here's we've talked a lot about bad things, so I'll keep it on something bad. The world's about to end in 5 minutes. You can see the meteor coming to the earth. You have to listen to one song. What song do you listen to?
Wildflowers by Tom Petty.
That was very quick. I like that.
That's my go-to song whenever there's something. If it's something that feels catastrophic, that song makes it feel less catastrophic. So that was just a very interesting question. I had that one ready.
Yeah, you did. I was locked and loaded. I was like, fuck, okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard that song, but it's a very soothing.
I have.
It gives me some nostalgia it gives me really good warm feelings of like when I was a kid, and I feel the sun when I listen to that song, honestly.
Well, I mean, I'll send you a picture after this, but I'm currently holding in my hand, that was sitting right behind me, is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers' Long After Dark American Tour 1983, concert book that you bought there. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I got to see him live once, like about 3 months before he passed away. So I got very lucky to be able to see him. Oh no, I saw him twice. Saw him in Philadelphia too. But the one that I'm thinking of was right before he passed away, and it was a great show.
Yeah. Do you remember your first show that you ever went to that wasn't church?
I honestly think that it was Nickelback. I think it was Nickelback, and I don't remember who was opening. And let me tell you, Nickelback is not that bad. Don't use that as the quote of this interview, but they're really they were very, very good for their time. And
that's all right. I already cut it out of the interview.
No, that was my first concert. It was at Montage Mountain in Scranton, and it was outdoors. I'm almost certain that was my first concert. And I was like 17. Like I didn't go to an early concert. Like it was a while. It took me a little bit. They're very overwhelming for me. I don't really like going to concerts that much, honestly.
I love it. That is my medicine.
That's amazing. If I can watch it while sitting down up somewhere where no one can see me, that's fine.
Well, that's the only place I go. That's why when I saw you, I was upstairs where there was a small couch looking over the banister, and I was just like, "Yeah, this is where I'm at. No one else is up here. I'm good, and I'm just going to enjoy the show."
Yes, that was my biggest problem actually with liking screamo songs, bands. Like when I went to see They Remember, I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna have to stand by a mosh pit, but I'm gonna do it because this band is worth it." I pushed myself.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to that too, like I literally said to a friend the other day, I was like, man, yeah, I haven't been to a show in a long time. And they're like, didn't you go to one on Saturday? I was like, oh shit, yeah, I did.
That's great, man. I love people that are able to go to shows and want to see that live music like that. I honestly they're intoxicating to me, but they always did this thing. I had extreme jealousy whenever I saw a show. Like, I wish I was up there singing. I couldn't enjoy it. Like, I wanted to be up there so bad. And it still happens to me today. Like, I just saw the Glorious Sons. That must have been my last concert, which I love the Glorious Sons.
Yeah, they're fucking awesome.
Every time I go see them, I'm like, man, I just want to be up there. Like, I had more hunger then, but even now I'm just like I hate going to see huge shows because it's a dream of mine that I still haven't been able to do yet. So I'm like, that's probably unhealthy, but I've always felt like that with shows where I was like, I want to be doing that. Like, I don't want to be down here. Like, I want to be up there.
Yeah. Well, you will be. You will be.
I mean, I have been. It's been amazing. Like, I'm very proud of my career, and I'm looking forward to everything that has, that still has not happened yet. So it's been an amazing journey, and that is the part of being an artist that I love. I love recording, I love performing, I love sharing my life with people, and I'm gonna continue doing that until I cannot.
Well, I mean, you couldn't have brought it in to a better ending there. I mean, I've kept you here long enough. I've really appreciated you being on the show from the moment I met you at your show. All I've wanted to do is talk to you about your life and music, and so happens that your album comes out tomorrow, which is totally fucking awesome.
Yes, go listen to it. And dude, thank you for having me. I'll be on whenever you want to. I love open conversation like this, and hopefully I'll have a couple more of these so that I'll get it all out and I'll be able to, basically listen a little bit more and talk a little less. I hate how much I talk, but
well,
it is about the music, so that's good. That's
and
good.
it's about you. It's not about me. This is your show, not my show. So
yes. But thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
It's awesome. Why don't you tell everybody how to find everything that you're doing right now? Throw out all your handles and all your social media stuff that we tore apart earlier in the show. Tell everyone how to find that.
Yeah. If you guys want to see some content that's not the same as everybody else's and might show up on your algorithm, I'm on all the socials. My handle's at Kulick Official, KULICK. My website is kulickofficial.com. That's pretty much everything. I have an album coming out tomorrow. It is called Everyone I Know Will Die. It's, about getting through some difficult times, and it is optimistic yet real. So definitely check that out. I have some merch as well on my website, t-shirts, physical CDs. And I also have Patreon as well, which is patreon.com/KulickOfficial. So that is awesome. Where I am. I would love to talk to any of you, message me, do whatever you'd like.
And t-shirts are dope. I own one myself. So
yes,
support your artist by purchasing their merchandise, because that's the only way they can make money nowadays. Please,
all of us are nothing but content creators and t-shirt companies now.
Yeah.
All good. It's all good.
Good. So you're probably not prepared for this, but we're in our final segment, which is called our weekly threes. And it is a portion of the show where it's 3 things you're listening to that you would like people to check out.
Music wise?
Yeah, music wise. Listen, if you're listening to an audiobook, you can put that out too, but 3 things you're listening to.
Okay, cool. I'm definitely listening to meditation music on Spotify at least once a day. There's a playlist that's just called meditation music. It is the best thing ever. I'm always listening to The Story So Far. I love all of their music. No real favorite albums from them. I'm not sure. They're like a punk pop band as well. And I've been really, really, really trying to listen to more Justin Bieber, only because I want to get more back into strictly pop, but I'm not trying to really make it exactly like that. But I'm listening to his newest, I think it was Justice is his album. So those are like the 3 things that I'm pretty much listening to right now.
Awesome. Well, my 3 for this week are, there's a folk rock band out of Massachusetts called Handsome Ghost. For me, they're Friday, Saturday night music, sitting around, having a beer or a glass of wine, playing in the background. Totally fucking awesome duo, two guys, killer. Second is a band called Stars Hollow. They're an emo band. There's an album that's called I Want to Live My Life. They're Iowa emo. That's how I'll label them. And last but not least, there's a Boston band called Future Teens. Indie rock, totally fucking awesome. Female vocal, male vocal, change up on songs, really good stuff to check out. So those are my three for this week.
I want to check out Handsome Ghost. That one sounds like something I would like. And I really like the album name of the second one you said. I Just Want to Live My Life. That's a cool title.
Yeah, Handsome Ghost is fantastic. Friday night, my wife and I just had it on in the background. I'm like, this is it. Like, this is where
I thought you were telling the audience that you and your wife had it on with them. I was like, oh, okay. That's a very interesting way to end the show, man. Oh, cool.
Hey, listen, it's all about the shock factor.
There you go. Just use that as the sound bite, and then we'll go viral from there. I'll be fine.
But Jacob, thank you so much for being here. This is awesome. It was awesome getting to talk to you again. So thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for creating all the content that you create musically for my ears to listen to. I appreciate it, and super excited for the album. I love it. I've had to hear it already, so I've played it through 4 times already. So I know I'm dialed in. So thank you so much for creating, and can't wait for everyone else to hear it tomorrow.
Amazing, man. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, everybody out there in the world, you know what to do next. Go out, listen to Kulick, and have a great fucking time.
What a sick joke, standing on a planet that's dying just as fast as it's flying into oblivion. What a big world filled with politicians and liars, heavy shitstorms and fires. I feel delirious. I need another 8 hours of sleep, another 20 years back, and some good energy. It's coming. I can't go on complaining about everything. I'm gonna keep my pace forward till my permanent sleep. It's coming. Everyone I know will die. Am I the only one who doesn't wanna live forever? 'Cause forever's not enough. I'm not angry, but I'm not furious. I see the light up in the distance. Everyone I know will die. Am I the only one? Can't get enough. What a big hoax. I feel superstitious and tired. Am I the only one trying to keep it genuine? What's your sickness? So bored that you're making your problems faster than you can solve them, and wonder why you feel like you need another 8 hours of sleep, another 20 years back, and some good energy. It's coming. You can't go on complaining about everything. You gotta keep your pace forward till that permanent sleep. It's coming. Everyone I know will die. Am I the only one who doesn't wanna live forever? 'Cause forever's not enough. I'm not angry, but I'm not furious. I see the light up in the distance. Everyone I know will die. Am I the only one? Don't pretend that everything is fine, 'cause everyone you know will die. Appreciate your time, 'cause everyone you know will die. Say goodbye and kiss goodnight, 'cause everyone you know will die. Everyone I know will die. Everyone I know will die. Everyone I know will die. It's coming.
Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.